All right, hello and welcome. Let's see here. I'll do my normal audio test and then we will get right into it. I promise I won't be long tonight. I'm just going to make a few points and then I'll let everyone enjoy their Friday. I'm just going to ask, can you hear me? And I'll ask in the chat. And if you guys can confirm that for me, that'll be great. All right, sounds good. Okay. So before I get started, let me know, are you guys scared? Are you panicking yet? Is there any concern? Okay, perfect. I'm glad everyone can hear me. Is anyone afraid yet? All right, good deal. Good deal. Because I've been getting some emails, seeing a lot of comments on Twitter and everything. So um, we are all going down, or we're all going up. I like that. Not scared, just tired of it all. Yeah. So with the market expansion, when because of I'll say the lack of regulation in the crypto market, when institutions need to come up with money for whatever reason, whether that's liquidations, to pay people out, to hedge themselves, as of right now, the crypto market is going to be um, where they pretty much get cash heavy, or they'll do their sales. Let's see, just switched to Bitcoin, 30% of my crypto. Yeah, I own Bitcoin as well too. Yeah, I love Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to do amazing things in the future. You lost so much money already, you don't care. You don't lose unless you sell. You gotta lock the. You don't lose unless you lock those losses in. Can't count it as a loss just yet. It's like the 1920s. Good thing we're working from home. So there's no high billing. It's a jump. Question: Who makes the chart move daily? Um, well, so technically speaking, quote unquote, it's buy and sell orders. So that will pretty much determine where the market is. So if you have a mass sell off, that'll make it moves down. That'll make it move down. Any massive amount of money comes in, that indicates um, an increase in price. So the more valuable it is, so the more people that's holding the coin, obviously that reduces the amount that's in circulation. So that indicates an increase in value. But basically, these brokers, they report their buy and their sell orders, and that determines price. Why he diversify if they all fall at the same time? So, excellent question, right? So when it comes down to diversification, there will come a time, well, especially if you're in the top 10, you're going to trace Bitcoin's pattern more closely. But as the crypto market evolves, and not just market cap, but as it evolves and these coins settle more into like their niche, as far as like their functions and their utility, we're going to see a greater uh, breakaway from tracing so closely, because especially coins like a Dogecoin or something like that, who doesn't, it doesn't have scarcity value, right? So that's one of the reasons that we're pushing for utility. Bitcoin can maintain and grow its value based off of people just buying it and holding it. Like, it's very simpler compared to like an Ethereum that's designed to have like a function or something like that. But Bitcoin is more like a literally like a crypto gold, right? So the value is just going to be maintained purely off of perception and people's willingness to hold it. So at some point, these coins, as the market matures, they're going to kind of break away and not traced just so closely. So I'm not saying they still won't fall or rise at the same time, but you'll be able to see more consistently the different like returns. So like if you have like a Bitcoin, yeah, overall you have like a safer investment, but as far as for like the amount of gains that you're going to see for like a cheaper coin, like Doge did like 10,000% this year. Like if Bitcoin does 10,000% next year, especially from where it is right now, we're going to be in hyperinflation. So opportunities are going to be there where, yeah, they fall and rise at the same time, but the gains are going to be different. I hope that makes sense. Back at 16 cents, right in time for the weekend. Yep, yep. We are hanging on there. I gave you guys three numbers. I'm going to put them in the chat here, just even for people that are watching the replay. But those numbers are 16, 12, and 6. I gave it to you a few days ago, but these are going to be the numbers to watch for, especially if we're trending. If we get another break to the downside, I don't believe so. We'll need another catalyst because we're still holding up. That's why I have the chart here. We'll still within range technically for our overall support. We're around that 16 level. Again, 25 definitely. Hold on, where's 25? It's still around like our equilibrium, but we're slightly below that now. Obviously, we're at 16, but as far as for the overall, we haven't had a break. These are all levels which we've tested and experienced before. So that's why I started the live asking, was anyone afraid yet? Because we haven't done anything that should indicate fear. I know articles and everything likes to push, fear and stuff like that, especially if they're shorting it. So just kind of know your numbers and look at the charts. We haven't had any significant break. And if you look over the last few months, we're still within range. It's all a scam from up above. They don't let the little guys get ahead. Sinking. Seems like oxygen is running out. Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of catalysts coming out as far as for where the liquidation has come from. But we've had over $1 trillion come out of the stock market, the crypto market. Stock market has had some money removed too over the last like week or so. So we can't narrow it down like specifically to like a Dogecoin or something, but we know that they're getting cash heavy, whether that's because we saw that there's some articles. I'm not going to say the name, but if you want to do the research, you can. But we saw that a certain hedge fund was changing the parameters in which people can remove money out of their accounts. Right. So technically, the last time they did this was around 2008. So when you see these billion-dollar hedge funds kind of get cash restraints, and they start saying, "Oh, okay, we need more time," or "You can't withdraw this amount of money out within this period," we know that cash is running a little tight. So on the flip side of that, what you're going to see is these companies raise cash in other areas. So, and crypto, again, in my opinion, because of the lack of regulation compared to the stock market, the institutions will typically take profit here first and more so or more aggressively than in the stock market. I believe they're still long on their long positions, especially like their Bitcoins, their Ethereums. Trust me, they'll be back. And for those of you that follow me just because of like Dogecoin, don't have like complete tunnel vision on this. There is like the crypto market in general is going to see those numbers again. So whatever your favorite coins are, if you like Dogecoin, that's fine. If you also like Bitcoin or Ethereum, yeah, this is the time. The percentage gain is going to be different, but overall, these coins are still going to do over 100% from where they are right now. So, don't be afraid to, especially like that top 10, don't be afraid of that at all. This is an opportunity for you to get your feet wet and get exposure. Have I ever heard of Light Doge? I had Light Doge in 2017, over 1 million coins. In 2021, I could barely sell and get the money back. Light Doge. How crazy is that? Why couldn't it have been Doge? Yeah, so that's the thing about it. When you have these coins, you have to say, okay, what are the trading restraints? That's another thing too, because you can have a coin that's worth, an asset, whether that's stocks, crypto, real estate, it's only worth what someone's willing to pay you. So if they're on the other side of your buy order is a seller, right? And on the other side of your sell order is a buyer. So, if your coin's worth, on $1 billion, there has to be a buyer on the other side of that. So, and that's pretty much how you get in these situations where, yeah, okay, well, it has perceived value where it went up, but you can't, uh, execute your order because, the demand isn't there. So you kind of get stuck. So you got to have, that's another reason why I say one of the most fundamental things around these coins is a community. So that's why I like that Doge has this community. It's been named like asset of the year as far as for performance. It's made history. It's literally changed the game. I believe Doge is responsible for a lot of the meme coins and the coins that are coming out like at such high speeds. They're all trying to replicate, that growth that we saw earlier this year. So, when you're investing in these coins, don't just be like, oh, it's a cheap coin. I can get, 1 trillion of them. Also think about your exit and say, okay, will I have the opportunity? Will this grow a community around it? Does it have one now? What are the odds? Because, you could be a millionaire on paper, but that won't do you any good if you can't execute the order. Let's see. What's up, David? Great hearing you again. I appreciate you. Any word on Robinhood wallets for Doge? I believe the wallets are going to come out first quarter of 2022. And I believe they're probably going to release like the ability to buy several other cryptos on there, just to kind of balance that. But I believe that they are pretty much going to hold them off until maybe even towards the end of the first quarter of 2022, just because again, Vlad, he's went on like a number of podcasts. He's in tune with what people are saying, and even if you go to his Twitter account, people are literally telling him the second those wallets come out, they're gone. So as a business, he has to kind of account for that, right? He has to account for the volume of people who are saying that they're done with Robinhood, who are still upset from last year. This year, excuse me. So he's being very strategic as far as for that exit. And in my opinion, I believe that he's going to list some other coins to kind of get another community over there, probably like a Shiba or something like that. They'll probably be at the same time where it's like, here's your wallets. So if I lose this group, but also here's Shiba. So you can kind of do like that swap to kind of attract people as people are going out. So, and it's a great business move. You can't get mad at him for that. So, but that's just my opinion. But from what I understand, 2022 first quarter is going to be the time frame for that. Elon said it will hit 1 penny before $1. What are you referring to? I haven't heard that. Is that Doge or another coin? Let's see. How many weeks do you expect before we see green gains? So based off of the cycles, especially now if they are consolidating because of a cash restraint, that will probably be, I'd say, like February. Especially if they are liquidating for cash restraints, we can look at like February through, I guess a cycle would be in February through like a late May. But again, it's really hard to say that specifically because this past year we had the shortest bear market in history, right? So technically speaking, because of the volume of retail that ran into the crypto market, it literally shortened the bear market. So, I can't say that based off of, I can say based off of the history, yeah, we should have this consolidation for a little longer, or they shouldn't rush back into the market. But who knows? We can get another, we have more retailers in the market right now than any point in history. So it makes it a little difficult to kind of use charts for say to predict the movement, but we can, I do expect something within like the first 60 days of the year. So I don't believe this is going to be like a crypto winter or something like that, where we're down like 10 months or something. I don't believe that at all. So that's why, in my opinion, I think it would be great to make a move on your favorite positions right now. All right. Thank you all. What is it? 88 of you that I see. If you haven't yet, please give the video a like. I appreciate it. Let's see. Hey, David, pumping your challenge to Doge Reddit. You need your balanced view on things. Love you, man. Hey, Shane, I appreciate you. Tron used to be in the top 10. Yeah, I mean, coins are going to change. Like, just because you're in the top 10 now doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be there. And I think that's where innovation, leadership, utility, there's a lot of things that play a part into that decides whether or not you maintain that position. Like, these coins are evolving, and if you don't, especially in something like the crypto market, who I believe is in its infancy stages, I believe that you'll get left behind. So yeah, so especially like a Doge, that's why I'm excited for the partnerships. I'm excited for Elon and what he's doing with it, the utility with AMC. I'm just really excited to see the different avenues and how people respond to it outside of like the Dogecoin community itself, just kind of outside of it. So, as long as we are maintaining a competitive advantage and growing and pushing Doge into new areas, we'll be fine. Let's see. From all these YouTubers, they said the end of the year was alt season and had the biggest gains from previous years, not 2021. Yeah, I think that, and it's not that a lot of them, because I don't listen to a lot of other YouTubers, but it's not that a lot of them are wrong. It's just that, and this is one of the reasons why I try to be careful when I'm charting, is because the amount of money that's flowing into the crypto market right now makes it difficult to assess it properly, right? So, you can have like these, because even with the amount of money that's being vacuumed out right now, what we saw earlier this year, I believe we had like a few $1 trillion where Bitcoin went down from like 50 to like 20K, and the market literally went through the floor. Like, a lot of these things we can't account for. Like, it's some of the things that haven't happened before. We've had so many things in the crypto market alone that have happened this year that have never happened before. So it's like, you just got to be careful. And, that's one of the reasons why I try and tread carefully and not put all my opinions out there. I try and put only things that I can kind of factually back up. But yeah, you just got to be, I say, be careful where you're getting your information. Just kind of see if you can validate some of that stuff yourself. But, it's not the end of the year yet. We still have a few more weeks. So, who knows? We may get a rally. Institutions may come back in. But if you go to my homepage on my channel, the video that plays automatically, that's me breaking down the wealth flow chart. I made that chart to show you how the money flows in and out of the crypto market. So if you look at it now, you'll see that when institutions vacuum money out, this is the time to take your positions. This is where the smart money comes in, right? So, that's I guess a shameless plug there, but you can look at my channel. It'll kind of explain why and what we need to be doing now as institutions take profits or hedge in other positions. My grandma and all her friends at bingo now tune into David's channel. That's hilarious. But thank you, though. I appreciate it. How many actual dollars does it take invested by retail to make Doge rise 1 cent, 2 cent? I have to do the math, but it's not necessarily, I guess you can say by retail, but most of the crypto market is similar to the stock market. It's trading that way. It's not retail money. It's institutional money, right? It took 12 years for us to hit 1 trillion, 18 months to hit 2 trillion, and about 10 months to hit $3 trillion. We pretty much went almost $1 trillion this year into the crypto market. Now, retail money is at an all-time high in the stock market and in the crypto market. Retail money, as far as for it being invested and learning about stocks, all that stuff is at an all-time high. However, did retail have $1 trillion to put into the crypto market this year? Absolutely not. You best believe that there are banks, institutions, hedge funds, everything are in these positions. And that's one of the reasons why the SEC and Gary Gensler has been looking at doing like some regulations, and he referred to the crypto market as the Wild West because they know, and I'm pretty sure they can see the paperwork too, of just how many of the big players that are in this market. And, they know as far as what's going to happen if there isn't regulation. So um, I won't say it's just necessarily just retail that's in there, but I'd have to do the math specifically to um, get it down as far as to how much money it takes for 1 cent. But I know roughly there's around 130 billion coins. So when people say, what does it take to get to $1? We're looking at around $130 billion. This is a meme coin, that's why I see potential. Yeah, what did Elon say? The outcome is often ironic. What percentage of the apes do you think turned out to be paper hands? Keep it 100 as always. Much love. Okay, so here's my thoughts on that, right? And it's not often that I say this on my channel. So when you have the perception and people say, okay, well, I'm going to hold until we get to this point. And at some point, you're going to have money in your account that's going to change your life, right? Everyone's freedom number or the number that they need to change their life, everyone's number is different, right? And when you have that number in there, again, a lot of things have happened this year that hasn't happened before, but when you have that number in there and you say, okay, well, I'm good, excuse me, but I'm going to hold for my fellow man and stuff like that. Now, that can be the case, but you have to understand at some point, hold turns into don't sell before I do. Because mathematically speaking, everybody can't sell at the same number and execute at that price. I don't care if that's crypto, stock, that's not how it works, right? Selling creates downward pressure. Then if we're talking about someone being strategic on the other side, whether that's institutions or squeeze play and all this kind of stuff like that, then obviously you have like ladder attacks. And if they are covering a position, then they're covering in volume, then yeah, more than normal amount of people can execute that play. But when it comes down to the psychology behind it, at some point people will begin to sell even though they said they would hold. And I don't know, I can't give a percentage amount on that. I just know that the amount of people that you see saying that they're going to hold, or regardless of what crypto or stock it is, that's not going to be the case. And there's probably going to be a very small amount of people who are going to hold through those numbers that they said they would. Because a lot of people, if they woke up tomorrow and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to hold diamond hands, baby. And you wake up tomorrow and their account has $1 million in it. They're like, I'm good, I'm out. Like, holding for what? Holding for who? And you have some people who will hold. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're not out there, but what I'm saying is I wouldn't, in my opinion, I would say at scale, at volume, I wouldn't count on it. So I think that the actual number of people who are not going to paper hand is, I know, very low. But at the same time, we also have to kind of look at that, because it's kind of arbitrary. Where is paper hands? Like what number, what percentage amount gives you the right to be like, okay, this is diamond hands? What's, if you sell on like a like a manipulation tactic or a correction, then okay, I can get it. But at what point do you exit and are still considered diamond hands? So there's a lot of I guess leeway in there as far as for like the terms. That was a really long answer, but I don't have a specific percent amount, but I think that there's a certain amount of people who sold a large amount, and I think that even going forward on the next bull run, the panic and the fear is going to be there. Like if Doge hits like 50 cents again, They're like, oh my God, or especially around that 72 cents mark again. It's like, oh my God, is it going to go down for another 8 months? Like maybe I should take profits now. Like, so that's, I say like that 65 to like $1 range. It's going to be rough. People are going to be scared. Hope that answers your question though. If it didn't, just put another comment. Sorry that was so long. Let's see. The manipulation, it would dip now, tempt people to spend and lose their holiday money. Yeah. Let's see. Is the latest with Dogecoin? What is upcoming technically to keep the momentum coming this way? For me, so I did like some of my biggest catalysts for Dogecoin in 2022. I'm more interested in the partnership with AMC than, I mean, obviously publicity wise, the Doge One situation would be number one. But as far as for utility and health of the coin, I'm more interested in AMC and the community getting the utility, because this will kind of give me an idea how to gauge the community and whether or not it will be used as it has the potential to become the currency of the internet. Because I don't know how people are going to respond to this if they're saying, okay, I'm going to hold all my coins, if they're going to try to treat Doge like Bitcoin, or if it will have the opportunity to be used and for services and goods. Because ultimately, the way I explain this is, if we have things like a Tesla accepting Doge or AMC accepting Doge, and we turn these institutions into whales, they're going to have an incentive to not dump all of their crypto in the market at one time, because it's going to hurt the existing supply of crypto that they're continuously getting and the ones that they didn't sell. So what you would have is these large institutions becoming whales, and they would then at that time, pretty much drip the coins into the market, if they wanted to exchange back for cash, or even if they wanted to just keep some just in case. So I think that removing control from the whales, as far as from the investors or whoever the whales are now, and transferring that to these institutions, I think in the long run that could possibly be better for us. Thoughts on Safemoon? No, I think Safemoon is going to has the potential to do make some great gains in 2022. So I'm not sure what CKB and Sand is. Well, I know Sand is, but the only one of those I'm looking at is Safemoon. I think that Safemoon has the potential to get a really good pop this upcoming year. I made a video on like my top 5 for 2022. And I went over like my reasons why and everything like that. But in that video, I think I released it like 2 days ago. I went over my catalyst and my top 5 for 2022, but Safemoon is indeed one of them. All right, thank you, Colin. I appreciate you. Let's see, how did Doge pump to 34 last month overnight from 22? No, that's large volume coming in. The crypto market is very volatile, and I think that a lot of money I know that a lot of money is moving around. And again, this is not, when you see like these jumps, even in, not even just Doge, but any coin, that's not retail, right? So these are institutions, these are very wealthy people that are moving money around, right? Because the amount of retailers, unless there's like a secret group of retailers out there, like a text message group, and they wake up at 3 a.m. and they're like, hey, let's put, 30 billion in Doge. So unless that's happening, this is organized money. So when you see these things, there's no telling who it is, but just know that it's institutions. The same way when the market crashes and there's $1 trillion that just vanished, I can assure you that retailers did not have a spare $1 trillion into the market and that they took out for whatever reason. So I think that when you see this large volume, these spikes or sell-offs, I think it's safe to assume that this is more organized money, and they're pretty much moving money around through the markets. And that's one of the reasons why the SEC is keeping a close eye. Well, they're trying to implement policies to keep a close eye on the money that's flowing through. Let's see. I'm still holding over 25,000 in Doge from January of last year. Started with less than 1,000 Doge. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, see that is, you can call that diamond hands because you had many opportunities to sell off. So you can certainly call that, in my opinion, that qualifies as diamond hands. Some people hold Dogecoin over 5 years. Yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, and again, it's kind of arbitrary. We don't know. You can't really put like a definition on there, like what's diamond hands, what's paper hands. But yeah, some people are going to hold. I've seen some people say they're going to hold 10 years. So everyone has their own plan. Everybody has their own freedom number. Because there are some people that had Bitcoin and they sold it at 10,000. Said this was a great deal. It's only in hindsight that you see, wow, if they would have held. And that's another thing, that when people say that, oh, I got in on this coin early, I'm long term, or I have diamond hands. Like if you had Bitcoin at, pennies, at what point would you have sold? Yeah, it's worth, $40,000, $50,000 right now, but more than likely you would have sold a long time ago. So you always got to factor that in. So, but the people that are holding long term, I think that in a way they kind of factored that in to say, okay, well, I know that there's going to be these ups and downs, and sometimes that's not going to look good, but I'm going to hold for this amount of time and kind of see where I'm at. So I think that the people that do that, they are kind of factoring that in. At what price will I sell my Doge? That is a great question. I'm long on Doge. I'm like that low roller scratcher, so I don't have like a set price right now. I just know I'm going to keep it for a minimum of 5 years and see where we're at, and I do a reassessment. So I treat Doge like the same way that I treat my Apple stock. Like I don't have a set price that I plan to sell, but I'm strategic about my entries so that in the event, or if there's an emergency, I give myself leverage and the option to be able to liquidate if I had to without being in the red. So to me, that is the most important thing when it comes to holding long term. So I don't have like a set amount yet in mind that I'm selling. So within a few years, maybe I can have a better idea for you. But as of right now, this is my it's on the books with my 5-year plan. Let's see. You can take an online survey. They'll pay you PayPal money. Yeah, I heard about some online service. I haven't done any, but I've heard about stuff like that. David, when do you think Dogecoin will hit its all-time high? That is difficult to answer, but I think that we're going to test those limits in the crypto market as a whole in 2022 again. I think that we're not going to get a bear market probably for another like a year and a half or so, especially with the amount of money that's been pumping into the market. So I think that um, within the year 2022, I think that we're going to kind of test those upper resistance levels again. Let's see. Remember, Dogecoin reached 2 cents all-time high in 2018. It went down 95% in 2019. Then it reached 75 cents in 2021. David, Dogecoin can do it again. That's a fact. Yeah, that's one of the. Okay, so let me pull up a chart here because I like comparing because if it can happen to everyone's favorite coin, then it can happen here as well. I love showing this example. So Bitcoin hit at around $20,000 in 2017, right? It dropped to like $3,000 in 2019. So if you purchased anywhere around here, you were in the red for almost 3 years before it popped back up. Right. So when you see these situations of people saying, "Oh, look at these hands, diamonds, and I can withstand the trials and tribulations of the crypto market." There are things called crypto winter, and only the people that held really saw the advantages or the fruits of their labor come to fruition. it's possible. Like on average, technically speaking, it's usually about 10 months before you start coming up to kind of test like those highs or where you were previously before the correction. But we've seen there's been periods of time where you can buy at a certain point and it not see that level again for years. So I think that that's something that has to be kind of be incorporated into the mentality when you're buying into these coins and doing your proper research. Like when you do your research, have conviction in your investment so that you can say, look, I've done my research. I believe in this coin. It may not be, I may not buy on Monday and become a millionaire by Friday, but I've done my research on this coin and I believe, and over the course of time, this coin is going to do X, Y, Z. And I think that's the best thing that most people can do for a peace of mind versus trying to time these coins. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, I believe that it can do it again. And again, as far as based off of the resistance levels and where we are, it hasn't done anything out of the ordinary. Do I think Doge will ever hit $1? I do. I believe that. All right, let's do it. I'm buying a lot right now. So tell me, I don't have any. Sold all my Bitcoin, Ethereum to DCA down to 21 cents. Yeah, so yeah, that's another thing too. Like if your DCA is a lot higher than where we are right now, this is a prime opportunity for you to like slash your DCA down severely because we know that I'll go back to Doge here. We know that Doge typically doesn't stay in this range for long. So when you have the opportunity, you can be very strategic as far as for um, bringing your DCA down. Because again, if you look here, you can say, "Oh, there's panic or whatnot." I'm like, where? We are still pretty consistent. You look at all, we are within range of everything. Again, if we break the 16 cents, historically speaking, we should have some break pumping at around 12 cents, just because we're at that 90% off range from our all-time high. And at that point, it'll become obvious that it's oversold and, it's kind of easy money. So at that point, it's really easy for investors to come in. Even if they don't like the coin, it's at that point, it's just very tempting because of the evaluation. So we'll get some break resistance historically at around 12 cents. But the only thing here that's concerning is the gap up because, again, when you have a gap up, there's no resistance. So a gap up, normally, if you look at any chart and you see a gap up, you can almost certainly see a gap down at some point. But that's why those three numbers I gave you, 16, 12, and 6. So that 6 cent is going to be where it can gap down to. If we break that 12 cents, that would be pretty much us breaking. That pretty much be like Doge going to like a free fall, but the next level of resistance will be 6 cents. And at 6 cents, I'm going absolutely crazy. I'm going to buy like I did in January and February. So yeah, so if we get down that low, that is like, especially with you knowing the spread and the potential and the explosiveness now. Yeah, at 6 cents, I'm going crazy. But it would take a lot for us to get down there, though. Like, because like Bitcoin would have to go through the floor too. Hopefully, Doge doesn't end up like my Light Doge story. Yeah, I don't think there'll be a time where you're not able to execute your Doge sell orders or something like that because the Doge community is way too big for that right now. I believe how long should you hold? I believe that you should hold, stocks and crypto like a minimum of 5 years. That's just my opinion. Congrats, Romeo. That's how you do it. Get your entries, hold 2 years. No matter what price you got in, normally it'll make it seem cheap over the course of time. Yeah, that's how you do it. Buying in and getting your, being strategic with your entries. That's how you're going to build and build your portfolio and give yourself the options to take profits if you need to. What is my occupation? I don't have a job. No, I invest. I guess I'm a creator now as of a few months ago. But yeah, this is all I do. I don't have a job. I work for me. Unless you're asking what I did before, but just if you're asking, uh, yeah, if you're curious what I did before, just let me know and I can kind of explain that. Dogecoin hitting $1 is it like, will Bitcoin ever reach $100,000? Yeah, that's guaranteed. Like, I have no doubt Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000. Like Bitcoin is going to, at some point, we're all going to be trading Satoshi. So yeah, Bitcoin is definitely going over 100,000. Let's see. How much do I need to buy with in order to bring my average really down? I buy $2,000 to $3,000. It makes no difference in my average. So if that's the case, you either have like a lot of coins at a higher price, or you're buying too close to your current DCA. So you have to make sure there's a spread, and otherwise you're going to have to spend an absolute fortune. So like if your DCA is 25 cents and the coin goes to 22 cents and you say, I'm going to average down to 22 cents, you're going to have to spend a fortune because it's too close. What you want to do is try and be aggressive, like when that range that is like around 20% and greater between your DCA and the current price, that's where you're going to be able to effectively kind of bring it down without spending an absolute fortune. There's an average down calculator, and I have to get that and post that. It's in one of my older videos. I need to post it on YouTube again. But there's an average down calculator that'll give you the projected amount of coins that you need in order to bring it down to a certain point. But if you're investing a lot of money and your DCA is not moving, more than likely your DCA is too close to the current price, and that's the issue. Let's see. 6 cents. Yeah, I can look at 2017, 2018. Let's see if it goes. Yeah, because what did you say? Sorry, this is a different screen. I thought you said 2017 and 2018. Yeah, because then it was like less than a penny. So this is before we pretty much got the TikTok momentum, and then Elon started talking about it and the community grew. But back then, it was less than a penny. And because where we are now is we're having a mirror approach, because we have pretty much these patterns that are mirroring itself. We have our initial spike up, have a little bit of resistance sideways, then we have an even bigger spike up, and then we go sideways for a few months. And this is pretty much just on a bigger scale. So we'll see if this repeats for the third time, because this would certainly propel us to around, based off this average, over that dollar range, or certainly close to it, if we repeat this graph here for the third time. So we'll see. That'll be one of the catalysts as far as for this year, and one of the reasons why I'm glad Doge is expanding again this year. So I think that as far as for charting, knowing your resistance and being strategic with your entries, that'll give you the best bet now. But as of right now, we are pretty much setting ourselves up to see if we're going to have those rallies again at the beginning of the year. But the catalyst is going to be different this year. But that partnership, based off of what Adam said with AMC and the utility we're going to have, is going to be, so I think January or February. So that's literally aligning with the time frame that we had from last year. So very interesting to see if we're going to get, if pretty much set the year off right with another boom compared to what we did last year. So that'll be very exciting to see for sure. I know I haven't said it in a while, but if you're new to the channel, or if you're just here, if you are familiar with my channel, please like the video so that YouTube can show it to other people, and we can grow not just in numbers, but also together in knowledge. So that's my motto I like to say here. And if you're completely new, consider subscribing. You can always change your mind later. Let's see. I like my DCA. It gets you back in the game, and also made all my cash back by doing that. And now I'm in a way better position. Yeah, yeah, pretty much being able to manipulate your DCA. That is, if you don't over leverage yourself and you have enough money, it'll be really difficult for you to lose money. So, yeah, DCA is one of the fundamental things that you can do to, properly manage your account. 5 years, definitely you'll be happy. I plan to. So glad you mentioned Safemoon. No problem. Do I think Crow will hit $5? It can. I don't doubt it at all. I haven't taken a position in it yet, but I'll probably take a look at it this week. If I do decide to go with anything, I'll let you know. But I don't see a reason why it can't. Is it worth opening an account with a different exchange to start fresh at 16 cents as opposed to dollar cost averaging of 42 cents on your current exchange? Well, it really just depends as far as on when you are taking profits, because technically speaking, your money invested is going to be your money invested. So if you're buying at 16 cents, if that's the current price, then it's the current price, right? Your DCA in that regard just kind of makes you feel good that one DCA is lower than the other. But you're still going to get the same amount if you're buying $1,000 worth at 16 cents, regardless of what your other DCA is. You're still getting $1,000 at 16 cents. But 16 cents is certainly a more than 50% spread from where you are. So you can be very aggressive. Well, even not, you don't have to be aggressive, but that spread is large enough that you can cut down your DCA significantly if you invest. So as far as dollar amount and profit wise, it's the same, but that's just a psychological aspect of having a lower DCA on one side. But if you did decide to use the same account, you can bring down your DCA greatly. But in my opinion, it makes no difference if you're on a different exchange. It's 16 cents right now. So whatever you invest in, that's what you're going to get for the 16. If Ethereum drops below 3K, I'm getting a loan from my girl. It's so funny. Let's see. Can you share a rare gem with us? I have many that I'm actually writing, and I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist that I haven't released it yet. But there's a many. Let's see. Because the biggest thing with crypto, because most of the people that I'm writing it from a stock perspective and also from crypto, because I know most people follow me for crypto. But if you look at some of my older videos, even the one I was doing last year, I'm heavily invested in stocks. But I'd say the biggest thing is looking at your daily average and using that as an equilibrium to determine your entry points, right? So what I'll do is I'll look at, and wider than the 21-day average, I'll look at 60-day average, 80-day average, just random averages that I look to see, is there a correlation between the average price that this coin is at or this stock is at, right? And then based off of where it is now, I'm basically looking for where this stock likes to rest. What is that equilibrium point? And then based off of that, I decide, okay, the price that it is now, is it below that or is it above that? Or if it's close to it, then, that's fine. But if it's below that equilibrium point, then to me, that signals a buy or that it's oversold. And you can kind of say that's leaning toward like an RSI approach. But for me, I like to take the averages to see. And that's one of the reasons when you see me, I say something like equilibrium or, Doge is a great value now, because technically we're oversold based off of we're actually right in a line with where it likes to rest ultimately, but we're at the bottom side of that resistance. So that's one of the tools that I use to determine my entry points and my recommendations. So That is a very good question. Very, very smart question too. So I appreciate that. I hope you find value in that, or if you are not using it, you can certainly use it to your advantage. In Trading View, I don't have a premium account on Trading View. It's so funny. They wrote me the other day. I'm actually, I mean, I need to look into them. Do you recommend Trading View? I have an email from them. I haven't responded yet, but I'll look um, and see about using that as far as in my videos. Thanks for the vids. No problem. Just sell it quickly, buy it back, and it will look like a DC of 16 cents. Let's see. What about your thoughts on ICP when at well, hold on. So what is it? Best way to beat Dogecoin market? Oh, okay, I clicked on something else. Just buy Dogecoin every week. It's like $50 a week. Just do it 1 year. Yeah, that's another way to dollar cost average your way in, so that you're kind of, using it like a retirement account or something. You can just buy in over the course of time. Um, and that way you're pretty much investing and you kind of have an overall average from the year as far as for your entries. But yeah, that's one way to do it. One of my thoughts on ICP. I haven't looked at ICP, so I don't want to speak on something I'm not completely sure about. So I don't have an opinion on that right now. I believe Litecoin is under. I actually own some Litecoin. I'm long on Litecoin as well. So we'll see as far as where it goes. I don't have like a catalyst for it or anything, but Litecoin was one of the initial coins that I looked at. I did a video comparing the cryptos and when they settle into their niches, and I compared them to like different credit cards, just for metaphoric purposes, so that you can see how they can kind of coexist and all do the same thing at the same time. But Litecoin was one of them. So I'm long on Litecoin as well. I believe Safemoon will make me a millionaire by 2025. Hey, I'm hoping that for you too. I like Safemoon, so we'll see if we can get a bump out of it. The DCA will change, but then you'll have to pay taxes on the gains. Oh, you're talking? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't you you can, or maybe if you uh, have like a really big position or something like that, then you can kind of do like a tax loss harvesting and sell it on purpose, so you can kind of uh, take a loss on purpose. But on that particular exchange. But I'm not going to say don't have more than one exchange. I have like 7 accounts, so but mostly for stocks. But I have multiple accounts, so there's advantages to that. So I'll never say not to have more than one account. Okay, I'm all caught up on questions, and we're close to the hour mark. Perfect. So again, I just wanted to go live to kind of chat with you guys, make sure you guys weren't freaking out over the current fluctuations in the market. If you're new here, certainly consider subscribing to the channel, like the video. I'm going to turn the chat on, so that way, if you're watching the replay, you can see the chat, interact with people. So I appreciate all of you. I'm working on a new video because, in case you guys haven't heard about it, the Department of Justice is investigating, pretty much doing a criminal investigation off of pretty much the transfer of information and illegal activities that's going on in the stock market. I've been saying this forever. If they're doing it in the stock market, you can best believe the crypto market is going to mirror that if we're not careful. So I'll be releasing a video on that probably tonight. I'm editing it now. If not, I'll do it in the morning. But it's very important that we keep an eye on the investigations and things that's going on in the crypto market, to make sure that we don't get a repeat here. So excuse me, keep an eye on the stock market to make sure that we don't get a repeat here, because if we're not careful, they will pretty much try to do the same things and the same tactics here. Let's see, ADA baby. Yeah, yeah, I'm long on ADA too. So yeah, I think ADA is going to do very well. But with that being said, I appreciate all of you. Thank you, and until next time.